Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft2 Legacy of the Void. And from Home Story Cup, it's going to be Innovation versus Serral here on Fracture, the latter edition. Bottom right-hand corner, the red Zerg player, it is Serral from Ents Gaming. And in the top left-hand corner, the blue Terran player, he's Korean and he is Innovation. Innovation is streaming, you guys. He's streaming on Twitch quite often here. You can find him at a link in the description. He plays a lot. He plays excellently. He's really fun to watch. He's really rounding into form, I think, too. Playing exceptionally well. Making it here to the final day of Home Story Cup, where he kind of struggled in Blizzcon a little bit, but really rounding, making stuff happen in other tournaments more recently. Innovation 2019 may be his year. It may very well, in fact, be his year. So it looks like a Reaper expand from the Terran player. Really nothing too crazy there at all. Serral's going for the hatch first into an extractor, into a pool. Against somebody like you, Thermal, he would probably go for a pool first, just to be prepared for any proxy shenanigans. But Innovation, while he does those sometimes, he's not somebody who's known for them, as Thermal is, as somebody like Future would be. You guys, Future, I cast a best of 5 between him and Special recently. Future took down Top, y'all, in a best of 7. It was on Top's stream. Future, American, like 15, 16-year-old kid, took down Top. Which, I mean, Top's not like one of the 4 horsemen. He's not Innovation level, but holy crap. Future, he's got some stuff going on, man. His TVT is good, it turns out. He took down Special and Top in the space of like 2 months, which, not easy to do. Anyway, Innovation streams, check him out. Meanwhile, Reaper on the way. Reaper's name is Bruce Dickinson. Like what I'm hearing, baby, but I gotta have more cowbell. Guess what? I've got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. That's right, Bruce Dickinson. You tell us what's going on. You say that you need more cowbell, and we'll give you more cowbell in the form of Will Ferrell ringing that cowbell. One of the best SNL sketches of all time. It really is. Sketches of all time. Serral not going for a third base? I'm a liar. There's your third base. I saw that drone, and I was like, where is he? Ah, yes, that's a third. And in fact, it is. All right, so Bruce Dickinson coming on in. There are some Lings here. There's some Queens on the way. The Queens are not ready to go yet. The Lings are here. In the time-honored tradition of dealing with this Reaper for the time being, managing not to lose any of them, moving the wounded Lings back. It is the eternal flamingo dance. That is StarCraft 2's TVZ. Oh, that drone needs to get on out. It does make itself into a spore crawler. Queen pops out, chases it away. Nobody's lost anything at all at this stage in the game. I mean, yes, you lost some resources. What a creep tumor, because you had to cancel that spore. But otherwise, not a big deal. Reaper's done some good damage here. Taking out a creep tumor is a pretty big deal. Almost killing a drone is nice too. Forcing a spore. Just in this level of StarCraft, where anything you do can really make a huge difference and have a rippling effect down the line. Getting stuff done like that is really, really important. You need to do it. And you need to do it all the time if you're Terran. Hellions swinging across the map right now. Good heavens, a little sneezy here today. I don't know what's going on with their friend Reaper. Trying to get some stuff done, trying to not get shot in the face by Queens, trying to take down this third base all by themselves, hoping that some drones will pop out so they can kill them. There is one on the way, and I don't know if you want to let that finish. He does let it finish. Reaper hops up, trying to get some stuff done. Does have that one kill for the creep tumor, but that's about it. Forces the drone into an extractor. And Reaper, no, Bruce Dickinson, don't die. Bruce, get out of there. Bruce gets out of there. Nice job, Bruce. Staying alive, man. 1 kill, 12 hit points to his name. But again, keeping Serral on his toes, forcing him to turn drones into other stuff, rather than having them actually harvest things like gas and like minerals. Cloak Banshee, a follow-up from Innovation. Where are we? There's your Cloak. Here comes your Hellions. And your Reaper, and another creep tumor focused down a little bit. Not enough to kill it. Not enough damage there to actually kill it before it pops into the ground. Here comes a Viking to clear out any overlords that might spot the Banshees coming. And so far, Serral is playing pretty much in the dark. I mean, he got in there a little bit. He did. Oh, did he see the... I think he saw the starport coming up. So he's prepared at that level. Is he going to throw up some spores? I mean, he had one, but he canceled it, obviously. Cloak is not quite done yet. He knows how fast Cloak can be built in the situation and the build that Innovation is doing, so he's not going to build the spores until he absolutely needs them. And here we go. 1, 2, and 3 on those spores. We have additional roaches on the way. Roaches versus Banshees, not all that great. And creep tumor for Serral pushing on out. Oh, can it finish? It does end up finishing there. Ah! Baguette, detends-toi. I don't know. Detends-toi. I don't know what detend is, honestly. Meanwhile, pushing the Hellions back with some roaches up on the top side. No big deal. Banshee pulling back as well, recognizing the presence of spores. Roaches fighting, man. Roaches against Hellions. Not a fight you want to do if you're Hellions, as it turns out. Oh, man. Bruce Dickinson gets out of there, too. That was amazing. Banshee says, I don't have a problem versus roaches. You guys are cowards. Really don't. And Creep Tumor getting canceled and re-pushed up as necessary. Queen's fighting, again, off creep without detection. The creep is being delayed a little bit here by innovation. I'm liking it. I'm liking the damage that is being thrown at Serral here, forcing him to make roaches, forcing him to make queens, forcing him to slow down his creep spread. Meanwhile, tanks are on the way. Marines are on the way. It's Marine tank follow-up. 2 port. Well, 1 port. Double Banshee here. Going to try to take that Spore Crawler before it finishes coming on in. And it does finish. Now the queens are here, so there's no luck with that at all. Anti-air for queens is amazing. You really need them in the situation. You need roaches. You need queens to do with these Hellions. And these Banshees. Trying to sneak on in. They are picking off some drones. A couple drones going down. It's not a huge amount of drone kills. But anything you can do to slow down Serral at all is going to be really invaluable. +1/+1 coming in for the roaches and the Ravagers. Are there any Ravagers yet? But no, but I imagine that there will be some, especially once the tanks become apparent and the tanks start showing up on the battlefield. A bit of a Ling run by here with, again, some Zerglings that have no upgrades but speed. Hellion's going to roast those guys up. There just aren't enough of them, as it turns out. Third base landing by innovation. Traditional third base location here on Fracture. Fourth base now morphing in direct response for Serral at the 6 o'clock position. Hellions trying to sneak on down this way, find that Ling, and roast it alive, and they do. But guess who's on the creep now? Roaches! Get on out of here. No one likes your style, Hellions. This is our side of the map. These Banshees got healed up a little bit, it seems like. 2 kills and 3 kills each, not setting the world on fire with their prowess, but also not doing too poorly either. Getting a Creep Tumor. That was not canceled. That is just a dead Creep Tumor. I think a dead nerd Creep Tumor. And Overseer shows up for the detection. Baneling's on the way for Serral. Baneling Nest on the way at least. Glial Reconstitution. And still that +1/+1. So like a Roach Baneling Ravager style thing. I have to imagine that's what this is. And I kind of like it against Marine tank. It's not a bad composition. Baneling for the Marines. Roaches and Ravagers for everything else. Actually, Roaches trade pretty well with Marines at this stage of the game. The Marines don't have too good of an upgrade yet. They do have 1/1, which is really, really nice. And 1/1 is not quite done for the Roaches. Coming in, clearing out more creep. A lot of tumors have been killed here. That Hellion getting focused down by the Lings. That's too fast. It's too fast. It has wheels instead of legs. It's very, very zippy indeed. So fourth base goes down for Serral, no problem. Third base going down and happily mining here for innovation. It is 68 to 68 workers, which is beautiful for innovation because mules are really, really good. There's your Ravagers. Ravager coming in, going for tunneling claws too. Here is Serral. That's pretty exciting stuff. 1/1 finishing up for Serral as 2/2 is like 20-30% complete for innovation. So he's ahead on that upgrade schedule, as Terran usually can be. Upgrades for Zergs are slow, just to make up for the fact that they're going to have a bigger army, a much bigger army supply versus Terran for the most part. Just make their upgrades a little bit slower to balance that out, just a teeny tiny bit. Concussive Shells on the way, dealing with those Roaches, and I don't know, we can slow down Lings too, I guess. Drop showing up 8.5 minutes here for innovation. Going to try to sneak down the left side with a few of those, and Serral's at 171 supply at 8 minutes and 4 bases, which is, as someone who plays Zerg, I don't know, man. I need to learn how Serral does this. How, under constant harassment, do you have 4 bases, 178 supply, and 100 army supply? I don't understand at all. So here comes some Marines and some Hellbats. The Banelings on creep will chase you down, and will get some decent hits on you guys too, but not actually enough to wipe that out, as it turns out. The drop swinging around the bottom side. We got more Roaches swinging onto the third base too. Serral controlling multiple armies at once, you guys, which is something he's very, very good at doing. There's the burrow. Gonna force you to scan, but the drop of the fourth base, oh, that's a Banshee at the fourth base, does get killed by the Spore and the Queen. Oh, both Banshees die. Ling's here to defend against this drop. Ling's running into the third base of innovation, trying to bounce down to this third base location. Are these medevacs? No, that's not going to happen at all. The Lings are here, though. As you unload, the Lings are right on top of your dudes. That's the worst possible place to be. The reaction times from Serral have just been disgusting. All the Roaches finally get cleaned out from the third base, but it is 8 workers killed by Serral compared to 3 workers killed by innovation. A Roach drop inside the main base, actually using their melee attack animation a little bit here, but showing up with some Marines and some Marauders. Burrow Roach sneaking on into the natural base. You haven't been attacked yet, have you? And the answer is no, but we're going to go ahead and get rid of your Roaches anyway. force us to use the scan. Go right ahead. This drop has not done anything for a while. 5th base coming up for Serral. He's teching into Vipers. He's teching into Ultralisks. I really feel like Innovation is in a lot of trouble right now. A huge amount of trouble right now. These roaches are just picking off SCVs left and right. 15 workers killed so far. 76 to 59 workers. And sure, you have mules. I get it, you have mules, but it's hard to overcome that much of a discrepancy, especially if Serral is sitting on 5 bases and you are technically on 3. So a maxed out Serral with a 124 supply army. These burrow roaches are being incredibly annoying inside the main base. 2 of them are not dead yet. 0 kills and 1 kill on those dudes. All right, Innovation says it's time to go. We got Marines, we got tanks. There's a huge roach baneling Ravager army coming on in on top of our tanks here. If there are any Vipers, it doesn't matter. Well, maybe it does matter. Serral is pulling out. Doesn't like the setup. Gonna pull back. Maybe wait for Kindness Plating to finish. Maybe wait for some of his ultras to get over here, too. He doesn't have any ultras yet. He hasn't made about 34 Merlings on the way. These roaches, man, doing work. Doing absolute work with their +1 missile attack. Sneaking into the corner again. 2 kills. 2 kills now. They've been sharing some kills. And attack sneaking in from Innovation to the 4th base of Serral. Setting up, 3-3's on the way. It's 2-2 for now at the 11-minute mark, which is amazing, amazing stuff. Hellbat in the front, absorbing some of those Baneling shots so the Marines can do the true damage against this hatchery. I think the hatchery is going to go down. No, the swarm rolling on in. Says no. The attack from the top side there, too. Banelings getting tided as best as Innovation can, but it's just too many Banes. Too many Banelings. You're kiting them amazingly well, but then Lings rolling in to clean up what is the left of your army. 108 to 54 army supply. What an absolute shellacking there with Lings, Banelings, Roaches, and Ravagers. Trying to hold the top of the ramp is Innovation. I don't think it's going to happen. And there's your good game. Serral wins game number 1 of this sneaky twofer. That's right. It's going to be a Serral Innovation sneaky twofer there. Man, Serral just absolutely monstrous in that game. Just disgustingly monstrous. He was going for ultras. He didn't need them, though. He didn't need them. His creep spread was amazing. It was pushing up on this 3rd base of Innovation, pushing towards the natural. Meant he could go for that surround from the other side, too, with the Banelings and the Roaches and the Zerglings cruising on in. The Zerglings did, by the way, have +1 attack, as well as +2 ground carapace, which means they could take a tank shot and not die. That was hugely important there. Did we see any Viper play on that final battle? Oh, we totally did. Okay, all right. I missed that part. I was focusing on the front lines here, but there were tanks on the high ground. Well positioned by Inno, actually. Great positioning there. But then... Right, you come in, you're threatening the base. Serral looks like he's going to lose a hatch here. And then he says, it's go time. And he just, look at this. Look at this swarm, man. Blinding Cloud, tank 1, tank 2, tank 3. No tank fire at all in any of these tanks before they die. Just that is disgusting. That is disgustingly well timed from Serral, you guys. There's a reason he's the Blizzcon champ. And that's it right there. That engagement. That little, from kind of a big 3-angle play. The Blinding Clouds are perfect. Jeez, this dude. Innovation, doing all he could there. He was dropping, he was Hellion harassing, he was bansheeing. Wasn't 2-port Banshee Falcon, it was one port, but I don't know, my brain thinks it's that anyway. And taking up to ultras at the same time with Serral. Just, I don't think Innovation was winning that game. Serral was just at the top, and there really wasn't anything anyone could do about it. So we'll see how he does in game number 2. I have a feeling Innovation has a better shot here. I don't know. I haven't watched it, but you can't beat Serral this many times, or you can't lose to Serral this many times in a row, right? Serral's not unbeatable. He's beatable. Let's find out if Inno can do it here in just a second. It's Blue Shift. It's Innovation and Serral in game 2 of our sneaky twofer. Bottom left-hand corner, Serral. Top right-hand corner, Innovation. And it's not a best of 3 per se, but it's going to be a best of 3 for our purposes. Serral has 1 game. Innovation has 0. And holy smokes, Innovation. That must have been terrifying. Must have been terrifying to face. Perfectly placed Blinding Clouds. I need to work on that. Serral, you have inspired me. All right, man. How do you follow this up, Serral? How do you follow up a game where you looked so good? What can you improve on? Maybe lose 0 drones? Maybe get the queens out faster on the Reaper harass? I just don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, snap. That is a gas pool opening from Serral, though. Wha-bam! Wha-bam! 17 here. He's going for some early stuff. Again, Innovation can proxy, and I don't think Serral wants to be bothered necessarily to to Worker Scout. He has no interest in Worker Scouting at all, so his answer for proxies is just go pool. Just go Extractor Pool, which doesn't actually slow him down all that much. Check this out. The hatch is going to come up here at, you know, sub 130 anyway. Drone scouting out to see if there's a bunker or a barracks there. There's not, so he just swings back in perfectly in time to get 300. And the timing is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff, to be sure. All right, so barracks on the way here. Let's go Reaper. Shall we go Reaper Innovation? We shall. This Reaper's name is No Name. No Name was in a game where Falcon Paladin forgot to give Reapers a name. And he's out for revenge. Hey man, do I forget? Sometimes I forget. If it's crazy, I'm talking about a lot of stuff early. Sure, that can happen, I suppose. Oh, now I feel bad. I've been guilted. I've been guilted by someone. I don't know if that's a Joseph Atwell special. It doesn't seem story-driven enough to be one of his. Anyway, No Name the Reaper is going to head on out, see what he can do against the player that already has queens just about ready to pop. And some lings up too. This is just a Reaper's absolute worst possible nightmare. Although he could just be defending. He could just be defending against the lings that are on the way. He hasn't scouted this though. Look at him. Look at this game sense. He's just like, what up? I know there's Reapers, or not Reapers, there's lings on the way. I'm a Reaper. I don't get my identity confused at all. Says No Name. Why would you say that? Lings creeping up the left side, Reapers creeping up the right side. And I think the Reaper eventually is going to go ahead and give up and say there's nothing coming, but maybe not until the command center is done. That's why he's here. Just keep this from being paused or, you know, forced to be canceled. Heaven forbid. That should really never happen to somebody like Innovation. Yeah, look at these lings. They're waiting. They are waiting, but now the command center is done. The Reaper can go, and the lings don't get anything done here at all. Maybe they can kill an SCV. Think they can kill an SCV? They do roll in. Nah, the SCV is going to run up here. There's Hellions on the way. And you lift the supply depots, and the Reaper comes back, and now the lings are going to die, and no SCVs were killed this day. Well held there by Innovation thus far. The problem is, the third base is on the way here, sub 3 minutes from Serral. He's got himself some queens to deal with your Hellions. Number 2 come in. Still no SCVs die this day. 0. So, at this point, 50 to 100 resources lost in favor of the Terran player. Innovation. He's doing pretty well for himself. Meanwhile, he's going to follow up here with yet another Banshee play, it looks like, based on the tech lab on the starport. And yes, there's your cloak, there's your Banshee. At the very least, it forces spores out of Serral that could otherwise be drones. And it's just a snowball effect. You don't want to let Serral have as many drones as he wants to have in the early stages of the game, else you will have a bad time. There we go. Banshee 1. Cloak in the way, on the way, 2 in the way. Falcon, what is up with you? Well, it is 10:45 at night, so maybe that's what's going on. I don't rightly know. Creep spread pushing out towards the third. He wants to connect all of his bases with Creep. This Creep Tumor 2 helping with that, spreading back towards the main. And meanwhile, we're going to move into, yeah, there's your stim. Just regular old bio play. Some more Hellions, perhaps. The number of Hellions that Terran makes is really up to them. You can go anywhere from 2 to like 8 or 10. If you're feeling like maybe your opponent's underpreparing a little bit, all they're making is a handful of Zerglings. They're really trying to drone hard and they're being greedy. You can dive in there with 8 or 10 Hellions and really cause problems. But Serral's not one of those guys. Serral's not one of those guys who's going to underprepare at all. He's going to be most prepared, or at least prepared just exactly when he needs to. It's like a wizard, right? A wizard is never late or early. He arrives precisely when he means to. Thank you, J.R.R. Tolkien, for that bit of advice and insight into the wizarding mind. Tumor canceled by Serral. Fantastic cancel there. He can replant it later. Queen's coming on out saying, hey, you get off our lawn. This is our lawn. I know it looks splooshy and gross, but it's a lawn to us. Goodbye, No Name. You didn't get any kills. Actually, hold on. He did get some kills. He killed some naughty slow Zerglings back here earlier, didn't he? Yes, he did. Innovation going for a +1/+1. He's working on them upgrades, which are delicious and nutritious and really help keep Bio alive against somebody like Serral. Hellions cruising out now. Overlord, well, Overseer-ish now. Overlord 1.5 does see this. He sees the Hellions coming over, allows the queens to reposition themselves over here. Oh, that Creep Tumor died as it was going down. That queen was trying to poop it out. No, definitely not allowed. Third base is done for Innovation, and since that is natural, he's probably going to land it here. I'm going to guess this is where the third base is going to go, and there it is. There's your liftoff. There is your move. Overseer comes in. Is there a third base yet? No, but it's very close. It's a third base, like 0.5. It's half a third base at this point. But yeah, Marines medevacs. The problem is Serral has been effectively left alone again with no workers killed in the first 6 minutes of this game. The Hellion Harass has done nothing. The Banshee did literally nothing. I don't even know where the Banshee is right now. The Banshee's not dead, is she? No. But she's got 1 kill. Very sadly, only 1 kill, which I think was probably a Zergling. Centrifugal hooks on the way from Serral. He loves his Banelings in this matchup, especially if your opponent's going bio. Banelings are invulnerable, and invaluable, not invulnerable. Although I think some Terran players would say, aha, I knew they were invulnerable. Try to target fire them and they won't die. We'll see. We'll see Innovation throw up some target firing. How about that? We'll watch some of him and some of his skill there, and you can be pleased. Creep spread happening. Couple tumors going to die here. And with the scan, everything else going to die as well. Actually, 1. Nope, never mind. 0. 0 there. And then push on out. Too many queens, too many lings, too many banelings. The speed is done, and it's just real scary to go on creep against speed banelings and speedlings and queens. All these things are pretty zippy, as it turns out. Creep spread still pushing out. Serral really values his creep spread, as all Zerg players should. Hellions taking this on like a watchtower for their own. Actually, no, just making sure that Serral doesn't have it is all that he really cares about. It's a bit of a feint, but Serral's splitting his units well. He's not pulling everybody to the left side or to the right side. He's leaving some units here. There's the Serral, and there's the pickup. And some free queen shots on that medevac too. Weakening that was really important stuff. Hydralisk then now on the way from Serral. So Hydraling Bane this time instead of Roaches. Again, he really made the Roaches, I think, in response to the number of Hellions that were made in game number 1. And at this point, it's not many Hellions or Hellbats. I guess at this point, they are 4 Hellbats. And not as many. So you're gonna want the Hydras in that case. They just have really good range. They've got really good damage, especially if some Lings and Banelings are tanking for them. They can pick off medevacs out of the sky. That was something that really didn't exist for Serral in the last game, was anything to deal with the medevacs. But it didn't really matter. He just killed the ground army so well that the medevac count just was irrelevant. Which is strange. Usually Terrans with a lot of medevacs are going to be in a great position, but not that time. Drilling Claws on the way from the Terran players. SimCity's looking pretty nice. Additional barracks coming up. Not quite in an exact row, strangely enough. But it's got to be intentional. Those were just both off a little bit. Anywho, 1-1 is on the way. There we go. Finishing up for the Zerglings and the Banelings and any ultras that happen to be made in the course of this game. Not sure if we're going to get there or not. Banelings do benefit from that upgrade quite nicely. Plus, the Banelings can one-shot workers, which is fantastic. Widowmine. Oh, the split. That was not a good split. Hydras took some damage there. They're fine with it, though. Banelings, Lings clearing out these Marines pretty darn well. Nice target fire on that Baneling. I'm not sure there's enough Lings here to do this, and there's not. Going off creep. A little bit dangerous, but 1-1 Lings really trying to make use of their advantage before 2-2 finishes for Innovation here. Because 1-1 versus 1-1's a pretty good battle for Zerglings. Once 2-2 kicks in, a little bit more dangerous for these 1-1 Zerglings. 2-2 is on the way, but look how far along 2-2 is for Innovation. Again, just the nature of the TVZ matchup. His upgrades are going to be faster for the Terran player. No doubt about it. A lot of Widowmines on the way here from Innovation. And they didn't make any Widowmines in game number 1 either. It's very different. This is good. This is good for StarCraft, that many different strategies are viable for Terran in the TVZ matchup. It just makes the matchup feel fresh and alive. That's a Spire from Serral. Maybe for Corruptors to deal with those medevacs, maybe extra medevac insurance if the Hydras can't pick these guys off or these gals off. Corruptors are a pretty good answer here too. Creep Queens down, man. Okay, one of them down. Creep Tumors stay alive. Some Hydra shots do chase those guys away. 5th base on the way from Serral now because it's the 9-minute mark. And why not? Why shouldn't you have one? Innovation has a 4th base. It's a planetary fortress in very, very, very short time. And by short time, I mean it's done. Okay, so it's 100 to 122 army supply. Innovation is up. He's got 2-2. He's got +1 vehicle armor. But the creep spread is disgusting, and I don't know where Innovation goes. You know what I mean? Is that a drop? That's a drop attempt. Oh, there's a Widowmine drop over here. Oh, 15? 15 drones got killed? Ah, I gotta see that. I missed that drop for sure. And so did Serral. Where was it? Minimap says blue. Wow. Where was that hiding? Down here? Did it apparate? No, you. What the what? Sorry, guys. I cannot see that on the minimap at all. No wonder I missed it. Look at that. Sorry, one more. I know you hate this. I know some people are going to complain. It's off the edge of the map. And then it sneaks in at the last second. God, it's amazing. That's some amazing stuff for innovation. All right, so... Ow, ow, ow. Medevac does actually escape with her life after dropping those Widow Mines. Queen here fighting as well. Lings and Banelings cruising on up. Banelings exploding. We did see a similar thing that Innovation did in the last game I cast between these players. Not on Fracture, but on a different map. There was a Widow Mine drop at about the same location that Serral, again, lost a ton of drones to, but I don't know how much it mattered, really, in the long run. Go back and watch it if you haven't watched it. It has a lot of views. You probably have seen it. Regardless, 6th base on the way for Serral, top left-hand corner. 5th base happily up and running. Bit of engagement over here. A lot of Widow Mine shots, and Serral retreating from the carnage. After losing some stuff, 6 kills on that Widow Mine. Putting in that work. Marines attacking on in, clearing out creep. The number of bases that Serral has is getting a little bit disgusting, and there's a greater spire on the way. And are we making Vikings? Are we making Vikings innovation? No, we are absolutely not making Vikings at all. How many starports do we have? Is question of the day. Question of the day is answered as 1. He has 1 starport. I don't know, man. We saw, oh golly, we saw Jehefe taking on Namstar in a TVZ. Really great TVZ, and in the end, the Broodlord showed up. The Terran player was not ready for it. Or the Zerg player. No, the Terran player was not quite ready for it, but in the end, it was okay. I'm getting these games all mixed up. Anyway, Broodlords, surprise Broodlords, can really be a problem for Terran. Has he scouted this? No, he doesn't know about the Greater Spire. But also, can he check the lack of upgrades here? Maybe he can. I don't know. Another engagement here. A lot of bile pushing on in. It is 127 to 108 army supply, and Innovation is up. He's leading. He's happily taking another base at the 12 o'clock position. There's a Zergling Burl there to shut that thing down. Innovation pushing in. His 3-3 is almost done. This is where Innovation gets scary. When he has a maxed out 3-3 army with Marauders in the front to absorb those Baneling shots. Happily crashing on them, though, is Serral. Maybe a little bit too happily there. Hydras ready to push this out, too. Creep spread getting replanted. Widowmine firing. 2 kills on that. Keep pressing W there, which I don't know why W shows innovation scene. Is this another attempt? Yeah, another attempt. Not bad. Not great either there. And the Lings are going to shut this thing down quite nicely. Although Drilling Claws is done. Where's the Overseer? There it is. Shuts it down. Attacking on in again. This is innovation style, man. He attacks you at multiple places at once and forces you to retreat. No, the Baneling's crushing on through there. The thing is, I've been here before where you crush on through a Terran army, but they have a bunch of stuff remaining. It is still 108 supply, 108 army supply for innovation. He is not working still on Vikings. Does he have any ghosts? He had a Ghost Academy. He's not making ghosts either. I don't feel good about this for innovation. He's not making anything that can handle Broodlords right now. He's really a little bit too heavy on Marauders. The Marine count is 34. Widowmine count pretty nice here too, but 3-3 coming in for the Zerglings and the Broodlings, which I didn't mention before. Full medevac picked off. Nice pick up there by Serral. Burrowed Zergling finally killed at the 12 o'clock position, but the rest of the Zerg army ends up showing up here anyway. And can they take down that? They're thinking about it. Oh, these burrowed Banes.
Swarm forces under attack.
Burrowed Banes on that ramp. We'll watch for that later. Banelings on creep. They will engage. The Widowmines are all dead. He will trade Banelings for Widowmines. Serral is willing to do that absolutely every day of the week. The Broodlords are on the way. 5 Vikings at a time. Are Vikings going to be enough against these Broodlords, especially if the Corruptor count continues to be a little bit high? And by that, I mean there are no Corruptors. He turned every one of his Corruptors into Broodlords. The drop here in the top left, Widowmine does end up firing and killing a Zergling, which again is great splits by Serral. Not that he's been flawless against Widowmines in this game, but he's been pretty good nevertheless. All right, so setting up again. This has been the staging ground for innovation for a while now. It's just outside of Serral's 5th. And he's been trying to get this hatch, but not much damage has been taken out at all. The Broodlords are here now, and now you got to get out. This is when it gets real scary, is when you have a largely Marauder army. Nice Widowmine shot, but the Widowmine does end up getting killed. It is 13,000 resources lost for Serral and 12,000 for innovation. Continuing to push a little bit. Oh, the Burrow Banes doing some work. Doing some work there. These Burrow Banelings are waiting for their chance. Just waiting for their chance here. 5 Vikings being produced at a time. I don't think Innovation knew about this, or he would have been making these faster. Up, yoink, yoink on the Liberators. Thank you for asking. Liberators, are you here to be our friend or not? It doesn't matter. You're all completely dead. Largely ground army here from Innovation. The Vikings, are they going to be here in time? I don't know. He can't engage. He cannot engage versus these Broodlords at all. The Planetary Fortress is going to try to hold against this. But man, the number of bases available for Serral right now, whereas this 4th base is in a ton of trouble for Innovation. Trying to come in with Marauders and handle this, Marines and handle this. The Vikings are cruising on in now. Is there enough anti-air to save these Broodlords? The Hiders are trying to get in there into position. Blinding Cloud doing a pretty good job against the Marines to keep them alive, chasing away this 6th base of Innovation at the 12 o'clock position. There's a small group of Serral's army. He's attacking on 2 fronts at once right now. But the Vikings are going to clear out these Broodlords quite nicely, actually. But more Lings coming on in. 64 Lings in production from Serral. Is he just going to go full crackling on Innovation's butt here? I believe he is. This is a family-friendly channel. For those of you who are unaware, the command center limps away with 125 hit points and bleeding and on fire heavily. But army supply 98 to 100. All right, so Innovation's okay, but continuing to march on in here. Tank fire going to shove those Hydralisks away. Again, trying to get this hatch. Never quite can. The Baneling count is always too high. And even the splits here bringing the Vikings down to absorb some of these Baneling shots. Trying to dodge them by lifting the Vikings is kind of a genius move, if you ask me. APM well over 400 here for Serral right now. Attacking on in 180 to 130 supply. Innovation is running for his life right now. He ends up losing the 6 o'clock base. He's got the base in the bottom right, which is really, really good for him. But all these Zerglings are cruising in. We got Widowmines firing. Widowmines ready to fire again in a while here, but just too many Hiders against the number of Liberators that are present. Hiders are small anyway. They don't really care. Another attack under the 3rd base, possibly 4th base, is in a lot of trouble, and it is going to go down to these Cracklings. Doesn't even bother lifting because the Hiders are on premises. 156 army supply. Serral is up. Serral is looking good. Serral is looking strong. Zerglings cruising on in. Tank fire chasing them away. These tanks have been doing work. 13 kills and 10 kills on those guys, but the rest of the swarm comes in. Where is your Blinding Cloud? The abducts are the order of the day, abducting the tanks into range of everybody else. All the tanks are completely gone now. The 3rd base is in trouble. Parasitic Bomb is up, and Serral ends up winning game number 2 in 17 minutes and 22 seconds. Hoo! Hoorah! Hoorah on that one. That was amazing. Oh, what an incredible ZVT that was. Innovation, man, fighting hard. Fighting really, really hard. Serral had 30,000 resources lost to 28,000 for Innovation. But Serral, he's just the swarm. He's everywhere, man. He's multi-pronged harass. He's defending drops pretty well. There was that one drop, that one Widowmine drop that wiped out a ton of his stuff up here. But other than that, he didn't really use that many drones. I mean, 28 workers killed, 26 killed by Innovation total. 12 or 15 of them were here, which means there were 10 spread out 17 minutes, which totally worth it, man. 71 workers at the end of the game, sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases, 2. Never lost a hatch in this game, did he? This one was attacked a lot, never went down. And that was it. I really think the only hatch that was under siege the whole game was this one, this 4th base. And it was alive, actually going for anabolic synthesis for Ultralisk speed. Never actually got there as there were too many Hiders, too many Lings, too many Banes. Whew, good one. Great game by Innovation, but better game by Serral. And that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch. /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.